Howdy. Today I decided to start a weekly vlog. So she really does start barking every single time that I sit down to film. Yeah, so I didn't film any vlogs during the month of January. I was just going through kind of a rough time. I read a lot during the month, but I was just not like sharing anything about what I was reading. So yeah, I just wanted to start a new weekly vlog. I don't know if this vlog is going to have a theme to it, because I normally like to pick a specific genre that I read and then just focus on that. I have two books that I kind of, like, I have to read for this week because they're book club books. So one is a young adult fantasy, which I'll get to that. And then the other one is a historical romance that I am super looking forward to. But yeah, so I posted a monthly reading wrap up, and I had mentioned that I had to DNF a book called Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I listened to the audio of this, so I don't have like a physical copy. But yeah, it's a young adult fantasy. This is for Heather's Happily Ever Afters book club. I'll link her channel in the description below. But yeah, basically it was an accidental DNF. What happened is that I wasn't paying attention to my library hold on Libby, and I didn't finish it in time, and I was like 70% of the way through, and I was like the 7th person in line to read it again, so I had to wait. And yeah, I was super surprised because I got the notification yesterday that my hold came through, which was really fast. I wasn't expecting to be able to get to it till the end of this month. But yeah, so even though I am like a week behind the deadline for the book, since I was actually enjoying it, I wanted to go ahead and finish it so I can, you know, find out what happens in the end. So I have trouble reading both young adult and fantasy books. I don't know why. I feel like if I would have read more whenever I was younger, like in high school, I totally would have loved like more young adult books, but now I just have troubles like getting into them. And I also have trouble getting into fantasy because I just feel like I'm a fantasy author's worst nightmare. Basically, I hate like being like told about stuff. Like if I'm reading a fantasy novel and you're just like doing a ton of world building. What is that phrase called? I can't remember the exact phrase, but it's basically like I need the author to show me how this fantasy world works. I don't want the characters constantly stopping and giving me like chapters full of world lore. Like it'll bore me. And yeah, a lot of fantasy books just don't cut it for me. They end up being overwhelmed, like they overwhelm me with the amount of information in them. But this book I really liked because you're kind of just thrown into it without really much explanation. Like you just go in experiencing what the characters are experiencing in this magical world. Yeah, I don't know, it was really good. And yeah, I was really enjoying it, and I was like, wow, I actually really like this. It's such like a really whimsical, fantastical concept. I'll explain a little better once I like finish the book. I'm debating on whether or not I should start from the beginning because I feel like I remember most of what the book is about. And I was like 70% of the way through. Anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna read that first. And yeah. The funny thing is that I always start these vlogs on Sundays and then I never read on Sundays. Look, I don't actually read a ton on the weekends. I got a lot of stuff to do. I'm also somebody with like 20 different hobbies. For example, I'm not gonna read today because I'm playing D&D today. That's just what it is. But I will definitely, I think I'm gonna finish the book tomorrow, so I'll definitely check back in with you guys. But yeah, I don't know. This is just gonna be a really laid back, fun vlog. I wanna get back into regularly posting because yeah, booktube's a really fun hobby that I want to invest more time and effort into. So yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, here, I did my nails yesterday. Look how tacky these are. I love them so much. It's inspired by strawberry milk. I can't eat dairy, so I imagine that it's strawberry oat milk. And the red reminds me of like those terrible Nesquik liquid strawberry milk stuff. I'm sure a lot of millennials know what I'm talking about. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys later. Hi, it's Monday. See, she starts barking right when I hit play. Yeah, might look a little frazzled, just got home from work. I'm wearing the same outfit that I was wearing yesterday. As I was leaving the house, I also realized that I was still wearing my house shoes, so I wore house shoes to work. Yeah, I'm tired. Anyway, so just to give a bit of a reading update, I did finish Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. So yeah, my hold came in, and it actually had like the spot that I was in, like where I had to end it previously, already saved on there, which was really nice. And yeah, I liked it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 star. I didn't really explain what this book is about, but basically, I think this is basically a spin-off of the Caraval series, which I've never read before. I really don't have any idea what it's about, but it takes place in the same world as Caraval, and I think like most of the book takes place immediately after like the ending of the Caraval series. So I might check that out. But yeah, basically it follows this girl named Evangeline. She finds out that the young man that she's in love with is engaged to her stepsister, which doesn't make sense because her and the man that she was in love with named Lucas, they were like about to, like, I think they were like about to get married or like talk about getting married or something. And so it was like a big shock to her. And so whenever she would try to confront her stepsister about it, she would be unable to speak. So she thought maybe that she was under a curse, because in this world, like, magic is everywhere. Like, it's like even like the most mundane things could have magic attached to it. And so in order to try and get this curse, this supposed curse, taken off of her and to get her love back, she contacts a fate. And these, I believe there's like 7 fates, and the fates are basically these like demigod type people, and they're able to like grant wishes for people, but in order to do that, they have, like, the human has to make a deal with the fate. And it's kind of like they're not like fae folk, but it's kind of has the same vibes of like fae mythology, where like, yeah, the fae can do things for you, but the fae want something from you in return. And a lot of times the thing that you get, you'll realize that that's not what you really want, and that what you did was probably a bad thing. But Evangeline's desperate, and yeah, she contacts this fate named, I can't remember if his name is Jack or Jax. I listened to this on audiobook, so I can't actually, like, I don't know what his name is spelled like. But yeah, she contacts him, and he's basically the fate of broken hearts. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'll do this thing for you. In order for it to work out, though, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. And what I'm going to do is that you have to give 3 kisses to someone of my choosing. Like, he gets to pick who she kisses, and that's her payment, basically. And I guess to her, she's like, yeah, sure, whatever, like, I don't care, like, a kiss, whatever. And she does it, and a bunch of stuff goes down. And yeah, I don't know, this book was super interesting. Like I said at the beginning of the vlog, I have a lot of trouble getting into fantasy, but the way that this was written, like, we as readers are kind of just thrown into this world without a bunch of like lore and backstory. We just kind of learn over time based on the heroine's actions. Sorry, Tofu started playing Kitty Meow. Yeah, there's also quite a handful of morally gray characters, including Jax himself. He's a bit of an anti-hero. And like, basically nothing is what it seems in this world. I would sometimes get a little frustrated while reading, only because, like, since this is like a young adult fantasy, these are all featuring young adults. Like, the heroine's like 17, everybody's around like those ages, like between, you know, like 16 to maybe 20 or something. And so, like, the heroine will make choices where I was like, why are you doing this? You know, just like getting annoyed with a bunch of teenagers is basically how I felt. But yeah, it was super interesting. There's a lot of like mystery into this story. Yeah, very vague explanation. I feel like it's one of those fantasy books where you just kind of have to like go in and read it. It's very whimsical. There's a lot of like really interesting characters that are presented in this, including like several fates. It is like a romance book, because I mean it's called Once Upon a Broken Heart, but it definitely doesn't like, it's not like a romance book that I'm used to. It's like the perfect blend of like having this fantasy element and mystery, but then also they're kind of sort of being a romance. Not really. It kind of ends in like a not so happily ever after kind of way, because yeah, spoiler alert, nothing really gets resolved and there's more issues that's like not pertaining to the romance. If you want a better explanation of what this book is about, I'm gonna like I said, I'm gonna link Heather's channel below, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and link her video that she just recently released. Well, at the time that this video comes out, it'll probably be a couple weeks, but she released like a spoiler-filled reading vlog of this book, and yeah, she just explains things a lot better than I do. But yeah, I liked it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars just because sometimes the characters annoyed me. But I'm totally down to like reading more books in this series. I'm also debating on reading the Carion series, because I liked this author's writing enough that I'll probably enjoy that one as well. Okay, Tofu just came up. I have to show you guys. Hi, Kitty Mouse. Okay. Yeah, so after I finished Once Upon a Broken Heart, I immediately went into a historical romance that I've been wanting to read for a really long time. I've been holding off reading it because I knew it was going to be so heartbreaking and like extremely angsty and dark. And so I had a lot of anxiety about going into reading this. Yeah, and so I'm reading Annie's Song by Katherine Anderson. I'll show you guys the little step back reveal. If I can open it. Oh, Tofu. Look how gorgeous that is. Oh, it's so gorgeous. But, yeah, so I'm reading this for the Rake Appreciation Society. This is the pick for February. And this is, actually a historical romance that takes place in the U.S., like in America. I've only read one other historical romance that takes place in the U.S., and it was a Beverly Jenkins book, which I really loved. But yeah, so it takes place in the 1890s in Oregon, and it's kind of like a Western historical romance. Yeah, so one of my like top 3 all-time favorite historical romance books is Never Seduce a Scot by Maya Banks. Sorry for the tofu. And that book features a deaf heroine, and this one does as well. Eyes are starting to tear up because this book immediately starts off with like a really traumatic experience. See, like my eyes are like filling up. Yeah. I noticed in the Discord for this book club that a lot of people were like, I made the mistake of listening to this while at work or reading it while at work, because yeah, like the book's, like the description explains, this starts off with Annie being sexually assaulted. It's not graphically depicted on the page, but we as readers are there when it happens. And yeah, so basically Annie, whenever she was a child, I think they said whenever she was 7 years old, she got sick and had a really severe fever. And afterwards, she's never been the same. Her parents, who are complete pieces of shit, by the way, her parents come to the conclusion that she's basically become mentally handicapped from this fever. But Annie is unable to really communicate that she's not, you know, dumb or dim-witted or whatever, but that she's actually just deaf. She lost her hearing from the fever. And her entire life, her parents have basically like kind of shut her away from society. Her father was like a really important judge in their town. And so he has like, it's kind of like in historical romances that take place in the UK, where they're kind of what would be considered aristocratic because they're in like the top tier of society. So in order to save face, her parents basically just like hide her away. Since they think that she is mentally handicapped, they don't bother like educating her. She's, you know, she's literally like so innocent because of the way that her family treats her. She's also very mistreated by her parents. Like her mother, in order to control her, like anytime that Annie would try to use her voice, her mom would like hit her and stuff. It's really terrible. But basically it starts off where this small group of men, they're traveling through town, and Douglas, this man named Douglas, who is the hero of this story, well, he's not the hero, he's the hero's younger brother. And Douglas finds Annie when they're riding on horseback, and Douglas is basically preparing to rape her. And the men that are with him, they're actually like really scared of him, even though they consider him their friend. And one of the men is like, I know her family, like, please do not do this to her. He's trying to like talk him out of it and being like, you know, this is monstrous. This girl is like not mentally there. She has the brain of a child. Like, why would you rape her? And Douglas is this monster, and he's like, well, she has the body of a woman. I'm going to do it anyway. And yeah, he does that. One of the men in that group alerts, I can't remember if he alerted the authorities or if he alerted the older brother, but the older brother immediately finds out, and the next morning he basically beats the snot out of his younger brother and is like, you're gonna leave town. If you come back, I'm probably gonna kill you because you just did something so terrible to this family and this poor girl. And so Alex, who is the hero of the story, goes to meet Annie's family, and basically he's just like, look, is there anything that I can do to help this situation? And her parents are, you know, they're like, we have to try to save face. Nobody can know about what happened. We're not even going to alert the authorities. They're basically just sliding it under the rug. And Alex is kind of horrified. He's like, I thought I respected this man, but this seems really awful and I don't like it. Basically, a couple months pass, and turns out Annie is pregnant. And it's completely heartbreaking to read about because she's so sheltered and just like literally just like ignorant because nobody's taught her anything, that she doesn't know what's happening to her. She doesn't, she's not, like on the page, she's not conveying that she feels sick, but basically she thinks that her mom is freaking out because she's gaining weight, like she's getting fat. And her mom, and nobody's explaining to her that like, oh, you're like pregnant. Like what that man did to you is causing you to make a baby, you know? And so the family then, you know, tells obviously Alex, where he's like, look, she's pregnant with your nephew or niece. And so they hire, you know, they don't hire, they like get this doctor to come visit Annie. I love the doctor in this story because he completely sees through Annie's parents' bullshit, and he's like, you guys suck. Like, and also the doctor is able to tell that yes, not only is Annie pregnant, but he does not think that she is dim-witted at all. Like, he pulls Alex aside and he's like, look, there is something wrong with this girl, but I do not think that she has the brain of a child. I don't know, some more stuff happens, and basically Alex doesn't like the idea of them just sending Annie's baby to an orphanage, because he's like, well, what if there's a chance that this baby won't have any issues like mentally because of the mother? Like, I want her to be safe and I want the baby to be safe. And so he asks the family like, hey, I want to marry Annie. So this is like a marriage of convenience, like basically. And he's like, you know, I want to marry Annie. I want to make sure the baby's gonna be fine. they try to strike a deal where like Annie gets to come back home after she has the baby, but Alex is starting to have second thoughts based on how the family treats her on their wedding day. Yeah, this book is so intense. I think I'm only at like the 20 or 30% mark on the audiobook. Oh my god, it's so heart-wrenching. I feel like I don't want to explain too much about this book because I feel like I'll just end up being like a spoiler-filled vlog. But yeah, Annie does not get it easy immediately after marrying him. Not from the hero. The hero is trying his best because at this point, like, the doctor, Alex, and then now Alex's housekeeper are suspecting. They're like, yeah, I don't think Annie's dim-witted, because Annie is starting to like communicate basically by like miming, because Annie's able to like read lips a little bit. And so yeah, this might be crazy to some folks, but I am predicting that this will be a 6-star read. Like, this is gonna be an all-time favorite. I can like feel it, even though it is so heart-wrenching. I was like trying so hard not to cry while listening to this at work. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I need to walk my dog. I'm probably not gonna read tonight, but I will update you guys tomorrow. Howdy. It's Wednesday. I got back from walking Leia, so I might look a little frazzled, but yeah, I didn't update yesterday because I didn't finish reading. I finished Annie's song today. Yesterday I got at the 60% mark of the audiobook, and this book is so emotional and intense that I couldn't, like, I was like, I have to take a break from it, and I finished it today. This is a 6-star read for me. I predicted it. I knew that it was gonna be a 6-star read for me. I could feel it just from like reading the opening. I feel like I just need to show you guys the setback. It's so gorgeous. Okay, whew. I can't talk about this book anymore. And the reason why is that yesterday, whenever I was updating my partner about this book and my reading experience, I could not stop sobbing. Not exaggerating. I would just start crying. Yeah, it's beautiful. That's all I can say. This book is it's so gut-wrenching, but it's so good. Like, Annie and Alex, the hero and heroine, they go through so much BS in this book, and it's so painful to read about. My eyes are watering because, oh my god, it was so good. I've never read a book that made me cry as much as this book did. See, look at my eyes. Ah! Calm down. Yeah, so like I said earlier, I read this for the Rake Appreciation Society book club, and so everybody like posts a little bit on the Discord before the live stream, and so far there's been kind of like mixed reviews. Like, some people were saying they don't know how to feel about it and like how to rate it. Like, they were probably rating it between a 3 and 4 star, and that's because of the later half of this book. And I'm really interested, like, I'm really looking forward to the live stream tomorrow, because I feel like I can understand why people have those feelings, because like, yeah, it's like this hero and heroine, they go through so much, and it was almost like torture. But that's what made this book so beautiful to me, is that both Annie and Alex had to go through so much, but their love, like, I don't know, it was so good. I highly recommend this to anybody that likes historical romance. This does have, again, like, really heavy content warnings or trigger warnings, like definitely trigger warning for rape, sexual assault, there's misdiagnosis of mental illness, there is abuse towards people with disabilities. Yeah, so it has very heavy themes in it, but it is such a beautiful love story. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I love it so much. And that's all I'm about to say about it. yeah, it's definitely gonna go on my top bookshelf. I have like a bookshelf or bookcase, whatever, that I dedicate to all of my historical romances, and I try to like display my all-time favorites like near the top. So definitely going on the shelf. It's currently my number one. Yeah. Oh God. I just love them so much. I want the world for them. Okay. Yeah, so it's only halfway through the week. I don't want to stop reading, but I don't know what to read next because Annie's song was so heavy that like I feel like a part of me wants to like go into something, and then another part of me is like I want to find something light and fluffy to read because my brain needs a break. Okay. But yeah. So I kind of want to share. I know I don't include like a ton of B-roll and stuff in my vlogs, but that's because I just talk so much about the books that I'm reading that my vlogs always end up being at least 40 minutes long. And I like watching long vlogs, but I don't know if other people do. But yeah, I just thought, fuck it. I wanted to share you guys some book mail that I got. I'm really excited. So speaking of the Rake Appreciation Society, my copy of Topaz by Beverly Jenkins came in. Y'all, I basically screamed when I opened this package because this is the OG cover. I'm pretty sure it's like a thing where it's really hard to find Beverly Jenkins like OG book covers. And when I ordered this on Thrift Books, I get like almost all my books from Thrift Books. When I ordered it, I just assumed that I was going to get like the newer edition. But yeah, they sent me this, and oh my God, this book cover is so gorgeous. This like pose with the light hitting her face. You have these little like purple details from the flower. His freaking mustache. Oh my God, it kills me. Yeah, I've only ever read Indigo by Beverly Jenkins, and it was like a 5-star read for me. I loved that book. That's a dream book of mine to get. Copies of Indigo are so rare to find, and they're so freaking expensive. But anyway, yeah, so I don't actually know what this one is about. Like, I haven't even read the blurb or anything. I'm kind of just like waiting to be surprised. I think this is a pick for like a couple months down the line, like maybe like April or something. I don't know. So it'll be a while before I can get to this. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys because this cover is stunning. Another book that came in that I'm really excited for is Tide by Carrie and Cole. Why'd I thought for some reason? Anyway. Yeah, so last month I read Torn, and it was I don't know what genre I would consider. It's definitely taboo romance. It's like, you know, like dark. It had a really severe age gap. This is the second book in that series. This is what I'm debating on reading next. But I don't know, because this is also a taboo romance and is supposed to be really heavy. So I'm like, do I want to hop into another like emotional roller coaster? I don't know. But yeah, I haven't read the little blurb. The covers on these books are like gorgeous. But this is about Torn's brother, who's a recluse, and he's like a literal psychopath. Yeah, so that's the taboo element. He is like, you know, an actual psychopath, and it's basically, I think what it is that it's the romance between him and this girl that he saved like so many years back. Basically, he killed her rapist, and it's their love story. Yeah, very heavy, but I really loved Carrie and Cole's writing, so I really want to get all of her books. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I'm excited to pick this up, but I am not 100% sure if I'm going to read it next. Yeah, that's it, guys. I'm just gonna take it easy for the rest of the evening. I don't know, I'll have to pick something tomorrow at work. It's definitely gonna be an audiobook, okay? But yeah, I'll check back in with you guys later. Howdy. It's Saturday, so it's the last day of the reading vlog. Yeah, I didn't check in for a couple of days, but I was still reading stuff. But, yeah, I just thought I would, update and end the vlog. I had a really productive reading week. I read 4 books total, which is like 1 more book than I normally read. Even though technically one of them I was like already almost finished with, but whatever, I'm counting it. The live show for Annie's song for the Rake Appreciation Society was really good. It was a really good discussion. Mostly because like a lot of people were divided on how much they liked the book. I felt like the majority of the people like really struggled with it, but I don't know, it's super interesting because it's like the themes of the book were so intense, so it's like I understood why people didn't really like it, but everybody's like so respectful and like just really enjoying like the live stream that I don't know, it doesn't like feel bad whenever somebody was like, saying that they didn't like a book that I really loved, because like I don't know, I don't understand. I don't know. It was just really fun. So I did end up going ahead and how do I phrase that? I did end up just picking this up. This is Tide by Carrie and Cole. This is a dark contemporary romance. I read the first book in this series and I really loved it. I was kind of disappointed by this, honestly. On my Bookstagram account, I rounded my rating up to a 4, but it's honestly more like a 3.5, almost like a 3-star now that I'm thinking about it. I still liked it, but I think because I loved the first book so much that I put this up on a really high pedestal, so it kind of fell flat for me, and honestly that's like my fault. But yeah, I liked it. So it basically it's about Tony and this girl named Holly. Okay, first off, like I said, this is a dark romance. This is a very dark romance. Holly was kidnapped at the age of 5, and she's been like hidden away in a secluded area in a forest where her kidnapper has been, tormenting her. And whenever she is 16 years old, she is found by Tony. He's like walking in the forest and he hears something really odd, and he notices that he's actually standing over something, and it's actually a door into like a cellar underground. And there is 16-year-old Holly and this little white fluffy dog whose name is Poppy. And the weird noise is actually from Poppy because Poppy's vocal cords were cut at one point. So it's like those dogs that have like the weird raspy bark. Yeah, so this has trigger warnings for rape, sexual assault on minors. So there's also really, how do I phrase that? There's also, mental illness rep in this, specifically complex PTSD for both of the characters, because these are both like scarred characters, both physically and psychologically. I'm somebody that actually has similar symptoms with my mental illness as Holly does. And the author explains in detail like what Holly goes through whenever she experiences like a panic attack and flashbacks and disassociation, and that's something that I struggle with, and so it was actually pretty triggering for me to read. So if you're like sensitive to those types of things, you really need to be mindful going into this book. Yeah, and Tony has his own issues. She escapes because Tony actually kills her kidnapper. A thing that I was really confused about this book is that the author talks about how the majority of the town basically thinks Tony is a psychopath, but I don't think he's a true psychopath because he still has like really like positive feelings towards like his family and Holly, and like the way that he thinks about them isn't like, I'm not like a psychologist, right? So like I don't really know, but like when I think of a psychopath, like they wouldn't have such strong attachments to their family or loved ones, I guess. Like it wouldn't be attachments in how like we experience love. It would be like, I have these people around me because they benefit me in some sort of way kind of thing. Yeah, so I don't think he's a true psychopath, and I know that it's like part of his character that he like plays up on that rumor so that he can get people to stay away from him. But he does have some like deviant tendencies. For one, he enjoyed murdering Holly's captor. He also has some like sexual deviant behaviors, but like I don't think that that's necessarily like a weird psychological thing. Tons of people are into different stuff, you know what I'm saying? And then also he like the family that this book centers around, they own like a nonprofit dog rescue, and so his thing is that he loves like stalking animals, like, you know, like lost animals that they're trying to capture to like get help, and that's like something that he gets a thrill out of. He also he does stalk Holly a bit, but it doesn't feel icky because it's not nefarious at all. He like leaves her like sweet notes and stuff, but then she's like, how's he know where I live? You know, shit like that. But yeah, they're both very physically scarred. I was trying to get to the point that Tony has a lot of trauma in his own past. He got like he's been in two pretty severe accidents. Whenever he was a teenager, he was burnt very badly in like a bonfire, so half of his face is like very scarred from that. He also had issues with drug addiction. That's another trigger warning for people that if they have trouble reading about like addiction issues. He got in a motorcycle accident whenever he was using drugs and scarred his body up even more, and he also damaged his vocal cords. And so him being this like really scarred, possibly psychologically unhinged person that can't even speak very often, the entire like town that they live in just thinks he's this spooky hermit man that lives in the forest. And yeah, so Holly, there's like multiple timelines in this, and it skips ahead to whenever, like after Holly's been like rescued at the age of 16, 2 years pass and she's 18 years old. She's been living in like a facility where they've been, you know, trying to help her adjust to society. She has like a best friend that's also in there as well, because it's you know, it's like a facility that takes care of like young people, whether they're having like addiction issues or psychological issues, that kind of thing. And basically Holly gets to go back to her hometown to like, you know, have weekends with her family. The mother in this book is really freaking hard to read because she's kind of a bitch. It's kind of like freaking Annie's song, where the parents think they know what's best for Holly and then they just kind of like act really shitty towards her, and it's hard to read about. But yeah, so she gets to visit her family on the weekends, but she's also like exploring the town on her own, and while she's walking in the forest, she actually runs into Tony, and it's their love story. Yeah, the reason why I rated this so low, I still like the book, like that's why it's like between a 3 and 4 star for me, but I guess I didn't like it because, yeah, it was a little underwhelming. There are also parts of this book where it was hard for me to like suspend my disbelief in like the plot, because I was like, that's too good to be true that all of these things would be connected that way. It kind of felt like watching a really weird like crime Lifetime movie, honestly. But I don't know, I really did love Tony and Holly's relationship. This is very much a I hate everyone else but you kind of hero. It's very much like Beauty and the Beast vibes, even though Holly herself is also like a scarred person, like psychologically and physically, because her captor used to, you know, physically harm her and stuff. But yeah, and it's like, so these books, like the first book and this one, they can get pretty spicy, but the way that they're handled is really beautiful. In this book, it's pretty slow burn with the actual spice, obviously, because of how, like, what severe PTSD Holly has, and the, you know, the times that they are physically intimate, it's almost like a really powerful healing tool for Holly, because she feels very safe and protected with Tony. And he also wants her to understand that, like, her body is hers. She gets to make the decisions with what she does, making sure that she understands that she has full consent. And, you know, it's basically giving her the power to claim her own sexuality in a way that's, like, safe and sacred for her. And yeah, I don't know. It was beautiful to read. I was also disappointed because there was like a bonus at the end of this book about their relationship, and it's basically about how, like, they had this beautiful marriage that lasted until their passing, obviously. And I was like, I don't really want a bonus story. I want an epilogue. I wanted to know, you know, not, you know, 20, 30 years in the future. I want to know, like, what happens a couple years from the end. Like, how are they adjusting to their life then, you know? But yeah, I still liked it, and I'm still gonna get more of Carion Cole's books. I really like her writing, and yeah, I really love reading about these really tattooed, like, muscular rocker motorcycle men who are actually all pretty, like, sweet and friendly. It's nice. So yeah, that's that. And then I did read one more book, and I don't know if that's going to surprise anyone. Probably not. Not like a lot of people are watching my older videos. But I read a manga. So this is Sachi's Monstrous Apetite. I actually have a video on this channel about me talking about all the manga series that I was reading at the time. This is the first... Okay, sorry, I have to keep this barcode hidden because it has my library's, like, name on it, and y'all don't need to know that. But, yeah, so it's been a long time since I read manga. I used to love reading manga, but I have this issue where, since I don't buy them, I just get them through the library. I sometimes have to wait a really long time before I get the next copy, and then I forget everything that I read, and then, like, the reading just becomes like it's not enjoyable because I forgot everything. But yeah, I don't know. I really want to get into manga. And I liked this series so much that I ended up buying, like, the first 3 copies. Yeah, so I can, like, keep up to date on how everything goes. Okay, the whole reason why I picked this up is because the art style is so beautiful. That's another thing, too, is that I have trouble getting into manga because if I don't like the art style, I'm not going to read it. Like, I don't care how good the story is. Like, it has to be really visually appealing to me. I guess I'm, like, picky in that way. But yeah, I don't know, the art style is just so pretty to me. Yeah, this is a monster romance. Okay, this is a thing. I've been seeing it blown up all over Bookstagram and BookTube, and I want to read monster romance. It sounds so intriguing, so good. I have a couple things lined up that I want to get to soon. I even signed up for a subscription service, like BookBox, that is monster themed. And yeah, so whenever I saw this, I was like, is this gonna be my first monster romance? Yeah, so basically this boy, he's like in middle school. He has a really big crush on this girl that comes to say hi to him every day, and she's like a supposed high school student. And he notices that she's always hungry, like her stomach is always growling, and he loves cooking. So he's like, I'm gonna start bringing her like snacks and treats, and then maybe I can get close to her and like be friends with her. And yeah, they just form like a little friendship. But Maki, he actually has this, I guess it's kind of like an ability. He's noticed it ever since he was a child, where he can see these literal monsters. Like, some of them are like really small and seem harmless, and then there's others where they're like the size of buildings and they're huge, and they talk about wanting to eat him. And so yeah, he's able to see them. And after school one day, Sachi comes to, you know, talk to him, and he realizes that she's able to see the monsters as well. And all of a sudden they get sucked into this, like, it's almost like an alternate dimension that's taking place in the real world. And turns out Sachi is one of these monsters. And her monster form is both terrifying and cute. It's like this massive, like, whale looking entity that can like unhinge its jaw, because what her monster does is that it loves to devour things. So she will go out and seek these monsters and eat them. And turns out the reason why she always says hi to Sachi is because he has an irresistible smell. He basically smells really good, like something to eat. Like that's why she gets so hungry around him. It's because he smells so good that he makes her hungry. And it's like really cute and terrifying, but she's always like, no, I don't really want to eat you, I want to be friends, you know. And yeah, so the truth is revealed, and she's like, yeah, I'm a monster. For some reason these other monsters are drawn to you, but I want to be your friend, I like you. I need help eating these monsters, let's form a partnership. And yeah, and in this book, it's revealed that there's actually, like, there's a lady called Manager, and it's basically, like, in different parts of, I guess, Japan. I don't know if it's, like, everywhere in the world. There are these, like, people called managers, and they hire monsters like her to track down and get rid of these nests so that these monsters don't come out and start wreaking havoc. Yeah, I don't know. It was really good. I get really nervous reading manga and watching some anime because of the age differences. I don't know if that's like not two-faced, what's the word? I don't know if that's weird for me to say because I just recently read an age gap romance, but sometimes it makes me uncomfortable in manga because it's like, it'll be like a middle schooler like in this, and then like an older adult. But the romance between them doesn't feel like icky or even like sexual at all. It's very like platonic and cute. And yeah, I don't know. I really, really liked this. It kind of ended on a cliffhanger. And yeah, the art style is just super intriguing because again, like just the way that the artist draws, the juxtaposition of like these really cute characters and these like really terrifying like monster entities. But yeah, I don't know. I liked it so much, and I've been wanting to get into monster romance, and I just thought that this would be like a cute little jump in. Even though it's not adult monster romance, this is like, you know, it's for ages like 16 and up or something. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, it's really cute. So if you're interested in manga, you should probably check this out. Yeah. That was it, guys. That was a really productive reading week. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go. I can say that I'm really excited for next week's vlog. I have some like a themed one planned. I'm gonna try my best to actually read as much as I want. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you want, you can like and comment. You could tell me what you're reading, or if you've read any of these books, you can give me your thoughts and opinions. I have like my Bookstagram link down below. And yeah, I'm gonna go. Bye-bye.